All right. Daniel Rausch of Amazon, VP of Alexa and Echo. That's right. Those are two big businesses. You got to be managing both of these things. Yesterday was the big Amazon annual hardware event.
Yep. I'm very happy. I'm humbled to be able to represent the team at something like that. We're just super proud of what we showed up with. I think if you look across the whole range, right, we had great home security stories with Ring. It's great to have JD Siminoff back on the team, founder of Ring, and we had Blink and Ring, both of the new products of the show. We have amazing Fire TV news, new TV lineup, but also like the best 4K stick we've ever built, honestly, and it's under $30. Like some real customer stuff there. Kindle. I don't know if you had a chance to play with the Kindle yesterday.
I touched it.
I mean, 5 millimeters, unbelievably light. Like the way I take notes now, basically, it's just, I mean, it is like an infinite sheet of paper. Never lose your notes. Because you have to send, actually, we'll talk about it. If we can send your notes to Alexa soon, that's going to be super cool. And then, I mean, we showed off 4 new Echoes. So 2 Echo smart speakers, Echo.Max, Echo Studio, 2 Echo Shows, Echo Show 8, Echo Show 11, AI built in.
Yep.
Brand new shows, brand new smart speakers from the Metal all the way to Alexa Plus. So the team has just done so much and so well.
All right, so let's back to me. So we talked about the event. Let's talk about you, Forbo. Who are you? What led you to becoming the VP of Echo and Alexa? How did you end up at that moment yesterday on that stage?
Well, I moved to Seattle from Boston. Go Red Sox, by the way. Big game. Wow, big game last night.
Wow. So you're the opposite. You're not looking for the Mariners. During the Fire TV segment, it was all about the Mariners yesterday.
I know. And we've got a lot of passionate Mariners fans, and I'm surrounded by them, sure. And that is definitely my other team. One comes first. That's the Bo Sox. But no, I was basically in startup land, was a graduate student, and Amazon called at the right time. It was a huge opportunity. There was this new thing called Kindle. And, when you like the mission of changing reading and making reading that accessible and building a piece of consumer electronics where the guiding principle was to disappear. That's what we're doing now in my mind with Alexa as well. And that's really like the founding principle of kind of Amazon and consumer electronics. You go all the way back to Kindle. Nothing between you and the author's words. That's the mission. And that just blew me away. So I came out to work on the Kindle team. Obviously, we have a very inspiring founder story at Amazon as well. And a great group sort of just built out so many different consumer electronics lines, right? And to have invented categories like Kindle, where Echo and Alexa, now I'm humbled to be able to be part of that team as well. But that's really the origin story.
Wow. So you worked on that first Kindle.
I actually worked on the second generation.
Okay.
So I was recruited when it was coming out with a keyboard basically still.
Yeah.
Right. But not that scroll wheel, not the scroll wheel.
Yeah. That's crazy. I still have that first Kindle. That's on back then. Actually, for the way Amazon reached me on the Kindle back then, they called me on the phone. They're like, hey, we need to show you something. Do you want to meet up at this cafe? And they brought,
oh, that's amazing.
They showed me. So let's get into more about the issue.
Yep.
One of the main themes that seem to stand out to me, obviously we're seeing all these different products be announced over the course of about an hour. Alexa Plus is built in somehow to almost every product. So would that be fair to say?
Yeah, it is. Alexa Plus is greeting you on the doorstep with your Ring doorbell. And this, think about what it's like when you don't want someone to answer the door. You don't want to answer the door yourself. That might be a safety and security question, right? Like, I have kids that are teenagers.
Yep.
I might not want them to answer the door. And I don't want them to say through the door, I can't answer the door, right? Like, let's think of an adolescent who's just not sure how to handle that. Or, someone that's just uncomfortable with a solicitor for whatever reason. Or you don't want people to know that there's no one home. So someone's actually going to answer the door. It'll be Alexa. And she, she'll handle it. So I think there are a lot of cases where it's going to be helpful. It's helped Alexa Plus greetings. and that's with Ring, on the doorstep. You've got an Alexa Plus story with Kindle, I mentioned, right? Where you could send your notes to her and you can ask her questions about the meeting or your thoughts that we jotted down at the cafe. She can help pull it together for you. And, Fire TV, you've been on Fire TV for years, but the Alexa Plus experience on Fire TV, where you can you can really ask anything. She is an entertainment expert, truly. I think yesterday Aiden was showing off some, classic baseball movies, and, he's jumping to a scene. It's just like, hey, just want to see the home run, Moneyball. Or see the moment where we all, as baseball fans, learn what Moneyball is and get right to that moment. And it's like super emotional. I would say we can imagine so many ways that a foundation AI assistant can help customers, right? It's not just ambiently available in the home the way that customers that got to know Alexa on Echo, but we can help customers across all of that.
You guys launched a lot, so I got to look here. So we got the new Kindle Scribes, new Echo Show 8 and 11, Echo Spot,
Echo Dot Max.
Echo Stop Max. Yeah. Echo Studio. The Ring cameras, the Blink cameras, Fire TV devices, all of which, like you said, are some sort of AI iteration. For those who are still unsure, or even fearful of I see a lot of this in my comments. I see people who are excited. They can't wait. They see the potential. And I see people who are nervous.
Yeah.
Where is this leading? What do they do with my doubt? What would you tell them to ease their fears about how Amazon is implementing this across the product line?
First, I would say totally understand the source of where that comes from, right? You're unsure. You're just not quite sure how something works, right? Or you're not sure what the commitments are around your experience. I would totally get that. I think what matters to customers most is transparency and control around their data. It is their data. Right? That's the mental model that we have, and that is what we have always had. And so you have to be clear with customers how their data is being used on their behalf, and then the control that they have over it. And we have, a ton of privacy features on every one of our products that guarantee you that. But I think the other thing, so that's foundational, and it's built into each product that we work on. That's one thing I think, consumers worry rightly about, and they should totally get that. But the other thing I think is sort of this, is AI really working on my behalf? Is that what's going to happen? Am I going to have a good outcome out of this? Or is there something else going on? And so I think, part of the brand commitment that we make with Alexa, Echo, Amazon, anything we work on, is that we're really working on customers' behalf. And, the entire team at Amazon really does wake up with that mindset. Getting to pay it off at a big event is awesome. And I love the products in themselves, so to speak, but there's nothing like giving it to a customer. When you see the payoff of what it actually does, you saw, Jamie starting stories about finding lost pets, or the Link talking about some family getting out of their home. Or, I get these inspiring emails about people who can control the physical world that might not have all the abilities we have. And Alexa completely changes the game for that. And Alexa Plus is changing it even more for you. It's that those are the things where, honestly, you choke up a little bit because you're like, okay, this is what we do it for.
Yeah.
And so that, I guess going back to your question, I understand where customers are coming from. And I think that, they should know that we're really working on their behalf. We really are. I know that my team is. I know that everyone at Amazon is. And they should ask questions. That's what I would say.
Now, you also said that you kind of see, or the goal is that Alexa kind of, you said phases the background kind of in a way.
Yeah, ambiently.
It fades the background. What kind of moments or situations do you see Alexa Plus feeling invisible, while still being indispensable? Because it almost feels opposite to each other. How do you see Alexa?
It's like a perfect analogy because, when it's working great, you can in a way take it for granted, and you can dial in on it and realize how much of a benefit it is, right? And, that's what I want for Alexa. I do. I want her to be there, ready to help, moment's notice type thing. I want to know if my kids, when they're home from the bus, I just do. Or, I'm away right now. I dropped in, called the kitchen last night because I knew that everyone was in there. And I had a chance to chat with the whole family. That's huge. It's just that easy. Just picked up my phone, talked to them. There they are. It's just so cool.
Right.
Smart home control. So many things like that come true all the time. You talk about lights. Yeah, light switch is there. But now you can just speak to your owl and you can get anything done. Super cool. I would also say, you heard Panos talk yesterday about the situation at the dinner table. When you pull out your phone, when you interrupt yourself, when you leave the moment, you usually can't get it back. And when technology is ambiently available and there when you need it fades into the background, you could hold on. He talked about being at the dinner table with his family. Like, I can't wait to get on that dinner with my family. When you get to stay in that moment, it's just the best. It's precious.
Alexa Plus did early access. You mentioned that you guys have found that people who are in early access have been using Alexa twice as much.
More than twice as much.
More than twice as much. Can you give more clarity on what you're seeing? So are you seeing people using Alexa more for the same things they've always used it for? Or are you seeing people doing new things with Alexa due to the Alexa Plus new capabilities that they didn't have access to before? Like, how are you seeing the use you have?
You asked it how I normally answer that question, actually. So I'll just stick with how you asked it. First, I think there's a set of things Alexa's famous for, so to speak, right? That once a customer brings Alexa into their home, what are kind of the first things? What are the top hits, so to speak? Music. I did not think music could get bigger because Alexa's been asked for over 1 trillion songs.
Yeah.
When you do the math and you realize like how many minutes the average song is and you just multiply it out and you're like, wait, but customers are listening to more music and they're not just having more conversations about music, which they are. They're not just, being curious about an artist that don't know about or asking for a recommendation that's highly personalized now because Alexa Plus knows that can give you something you really like. They're not just going deep on some artist that they're already deep on. Like, I'm huge on 90s indie rock, for example, or Bob Dylan, or things that I feel like I really actually know really well.
Yep.
Alexa knows better. And so I'm finding these tracks I didn't know about. I've sort of lost track of Bob Dylan's 80s albums. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know his 60s stuff, It's super delightful. So music is bigger. So the greatest hits are all more engaged. And then you see things that Alexa was maybe decent at, but now she's great at. Recipes, cooking. You can substitute ingredients on the fly. I don't have cake flour. Oh, do you have whole wheat flour? Yeah, I have whole wheat flour. Okay, add some of this. Go back. Step 2. How much garlic? Like you have a cooking system now. So recipes and cooking's up 5 times because her capabilities have just gone up so much more in that space. So that's kind of what she could do. Then you get to, well, what are the new things? Well, I flew to New York. I ordered my Uber with Alexa. Just think. Where she knows that I typically get an electric vehicle if I can. She knows where my home is. She can personalize that ride. That's just easier than pulling out my phone. It just is.
Right.
And we're seeing customers buy tickets with Ticketmaster, book tables with OpenTable, order rides from Uber, and now we're seeing more partners come on. Travel is Priceline. You even be able to manage your fantasy football with Yahoo Sports coming out. So we know that there are a lot of experiences that Alexa Plus is just going to be seamless up there. And we're seeing customers do both.
That's cool. So is it just like Alexa, pick the best players for me? Like
that. We're working with Yahoo Sports right now to figure out what the coolest, best, features are going to be. Like the cut through ticketing feature, honestly, is, hey, watch for Beyonce tickets under X price. That's how I went. Cause tell you what, that was not an easy show.
So you mentioned it knows that you prefer, if possible, an electric vehicle. So is Alexa Plus dialing into you as a person, or is it more, this is what the settings are on this device? So in other words, if your wife ordered an Uber and she preferred something not electric, something else.
Yeah.
Are her preferences taken into account
Yeah.
versus yours, but she stays to
Yeah.
as a plus. So it's really getting to know the individuals.
Yes.
Not just the whole.
That's right. And that, that's something Alexa knows about you and then is guiding those experiences the way you would. So, imagine virtual settings in the sky, for ordering an Uber, right? The same things you would do, but she already knows. So she does it that way.
Okay. How do you balance the need to showcase Amazon services and products through Alexa while maintaining user-friendly, non-obtrusive experience? So I know one thing I've noticed, not often, but sometimes, is a feeling that Alexa acts kind of like a salesperson when I wasn't looking for a salesperson. I think one is in particular, as I've seen some sort of ceramics and gave me a great answer. And then it was like, here's some cool plates, like for dinner. Like, it's to
Recommend then?
Yeah, recommend, like, here's some plates and cups you can buy for your kitchen. Like, well, that's not that.
I was asking just about ceramics.
Exactly. I wasn't looking for ceramic plates to purchase.
I think so. There are many journeys that turn over a shopping journey, right? Like that a customer might have. I'm not saying we'll get them right 100% of the time. Sounds like we might not have in that case. The key is relevancy. It's like, what was the next thing a customer wanted to do? And I will tell you that we're working really hard with Alexa Plus to help the customer figure out the next thing. Mm-hmm. Like, was it, you had a follow-up question? Was it, how is this ceramic made? Yeah. I'm not deep on ceramics, so I'm going to struggle with this.
Normal, that's why I
But it was the right thing to do. But in some cases, you might want to buy something. And we will ask those questions sometimes because it is among the things Alexa knows she can do is shop and help a customer shop. And we are seeing a lot of shopping engagement with Alexa Plus, honestly, because that's how I get my paper towels when I realize we're out, right? Or compost bags. Mm-hmm. Well, we used to live around Seattle, so it's lousy when you run out. So Alexa's right there to help. And I think customers in general love that. We just got to be well,
Yeah.
It sounds like we asked at the wrong time. Okay. That you should just give feedback, though. Please do. You're thoughtful. Obviously, I want your audience to know it too. You just say, Alexa, I have feedback. And then they learn.
Okay.
So anytime with Alexa Plus, please, seriously, you have feedback. You just say, Alexa, I have feedback. Say what happened. And then we learn from it.
That's interesting. I think a lot of people feel like feedback just goes to a black hole, especially when you're dealing with a huge company. Feedback,
not at all. That's it. Not at all. I start my day every day with customer feedback, literally. Every single day. I read product reviews online. I read a select set of things that come in from feedback that's randomly chosen. Like I read specific bugs if I'm interested in tracking them.
You kind of led to my next question here, which is if Alexa could predict what you need before you ask, would you still want to ask? In other words, this is extreme. Philosophically, are there human rituals, for lack of a better term, that you don't want to automate, even if you could?
So let me try to answer that question. Maybe the first part. You'll tell me if I'm on target, if I'm heading the right direction. Is it about proactivity? Because the first thing that comes to my mind is I would always try to do something for a customer if I knew it was right and relevant and perfect for them without having to be asked. We would always take that out. Like literally 100% of the time. But if that's what you want.
Right.
Like I think I demoed it yesterday, but you can say to one of these new Echo shows with OmniSense, hey, when you see Jonah in the kitchen, let him know to feed the duck. The duck isn't even fit yet because there was a camera on Rusty's hole. And if Alexa could have just reminded Jonah to do that, even better.
Yeah.
The next part of the demo is, and if Rusty hasn't been fed by noon every day, can you remind someone in the kitchen? Yeah. And so Alexa's able to do that with the customer instruction, right? Do something proactive. So I would always want to try to take that friction out if I could.
So I'm thinking something like you have a spouse, and your spouse asked Alexa about something that she might want.
Yeah.
And then your anniversary's coming up, and Alexa said, and you're just like, you asked Alexa, what should I get this? Oh yeah. So you didn't have to do anything. Alexa knew, let's be chibit, got it. You didn't even have to think about.
Yeah.
Some might argue, great, because now you're getting the perfect gift.
Yeah.
But Alexa, I see what I'm saying?
I get it. I mean, I really think I would want her to be like a great friend in that role. Like what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a way where I might get advice from one of my wife's friends, and I have actually. Like her last birthday, I did this.
Okay.
There's a bag that she wanted, and I just did. I actually asked this friend for some advice, and she said, "Here's my advice.
Yep.
Do this. But in this case, you can let her know. You can let her know it was E. You know that's from the and after you give it to her, right? Something like that. And I think there's just all this subtlety in those relationships, right? I would just want her to get it right, basically. You know, there might be a case where it's like, don't tell this one that. And in general, what we do from a technology perspective is those profiles are independent and data is not shared across. I think ultimately what I aspire to is should we get it right?
Can you tell me one moment you're for
Yeah.
when an AI feature or response made you a little uncomfortable in a way that informed your beliefs or solidified that about where Alexa or AI in general should be?
Honestly, I don't think I've had an encounter that made me uncomfortable the way I think you're asking, which is sort of like, I felt anxious about whether this was for you or not. I've definitely had AI experiences that are mind bending where you're like, how did that happen? Like, I mean, early looks at generative AI, you know, we've been using generative AI from the beginning, early large language models and their capabilities. This ability to inference on very large, what you call them input tokens, but on very large chunks of data coming into a model and then it giving you this sophisticated result. Now it's, you know, this is what happens to us. It becomes routine.
Right. Yeah.
But when, you know, the first times we saw that, we were blown away. And just being able to think about what you could do with that for a customer, what's the products we can design? That's why it's great to be getting the hardware, because when we were looking at the power of that and thinking of the Alexa we could build, and then we're like, we're going to have to match this with hardware. What capabilities do you want? Like, how much context can you give Alexa so that she can do things for customers? So, you know, I guess now you have me going back to the moment where, when we're worried about the power of these large language models and then just trying to figure out, okay, what's the product we're going to cost? What's the best Echo we could build to match it with the best Alexa we could build?
So yeah, I still remember, like you said, things become routine. But the first time I put something into ChatGPT and got a even semi reasonable response, it was just like, I think the world has changed.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You're like, what? Yes.
Okay. Alexa Plus is advertised as showing up across the board, like we talked about. How do you design these experiences that feel cohesive? From little speaker that you can hold in your hand, that's obviously fully audio, right?
Yeah.
To 8-inch display, 11-inch display, large displays.
Yeah.
All across the board, you keep it cohesive. And you keep it approachable so that someone who's used to it on one can easily be familiar with it on the rest.
Yeah. I mean, I think the key for us, the design point for our hardware that pays off Alexa Plus is something where you can put this in-beat experience. It has to be beautiful enough to disappear. I know that might sound crazy because putting something crafted in my house, that's because I want to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
In fact, you put this beautiful piece of hardware with Alexa Plus in it, ambiently present. It has to be beautiful enough to disappear. And I really believe that the 4 new Echoes that we built hit this design point. They're as close as we've gotten to, I would say, like, in my head, the perfect Echo. The fabric is beautiful, but it's also engineered and crafted. It is acoustically transparent. It does not reduce any of the noise, the volume coming out of the speaker. The screens on Echo Show float above the table now. They don't have a clue we're blocking a speaker. Used to be, we had a great speaker that put a wall in front of it. It's like, okay, well, you can hear it great from behind it. Okay, that's not the best place to sit. So I think building something where the sound comes around the 8 and 11, so that you get that high quality sound and gorgeous screens and the trade-offs. The angle, I don't know if you got to see yesterday, the angle you can see the screen from and see the information on it is incredibly elite. I walk into the kitchen, use 13 megapixel camera, identifies me, puts up my information. I demoed my Aura and my health data is there in the morning. Coffee. I see that I slept magically well. It's rare, unfortunately. And then, I'm off with my day. And that's kind of the ambient experience that we're aiming for. So the products are really beautiful.
Want to make sure I get this right. You guys announced the AZ3 and the AZ3 Pro chips.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Alongside a new OptiSense sensor fusion platform. I feel like when it comes to Alexa, I guess what people will think about it. Alexa is a cloud-based service. Ask something, you place to the cloud, and get the answer, go back. Even if it's quick, it's still taking a trick. I'm assuming with these more powerful chips, we're seeing some things starting to run off device. Yeah.
So it's a mix. Okay. It's a blended architecture. The AZ3 and AZ3 Pro are in each of those products. And you got right to it. OmniSense is the platform on top of it that's doing sensing and sensor fusion. So when my show I was just talking about identifies me, it's running a computer vision model locally and sending that signal into the cloud as my request. So if I say, hey, good morning, how'd the Sox do? Or how'd the game go last night? Alexa knows that I'm asking about the score of the Red Sox game. Now, part of that is happening here on the device. Also, it's a big part of our privacy promise, like that computer vision result stays here. What it does is it tells the cloud services that it's me. And when I say we game, I'm for sure talking about the Red Sox game. Result comes back. So OmniSense is running here. Sensor fusion, giving certain results to the cloud to personalize the experience, come back, give me what I'll bet.
So there's like a handoff.
It's a blended architecture. Was how do we say it technically? I think for, what customers care about is that it's fast and it's like talking to a person.
Yep.
And, I know you know me. So you'll know now next time I talk about the game, it's probably the Red Sox game, right?
Right.
That's just like Alexa.
With Alexa Home Theater and multi-device audio today, what's actually happening on Node? Is AI being used there? Oh, yes. Okay. So basically you have the new Echoes. You can place stuff from what I understood anywhere. So it's not even about put two in front, two in the back, like a traditional 5.1. Just put them anywhere. Then they figure out where they are and they optimize your sound state.
I don't know what your living room is like, but like most people aren't coming into a theater in their homies and sitting down in stadium seats.
Yeah.
Right? Like my living room is not like that. I've got a little shelf over here and I got a thing, and so customers need to be able to set up stuff so it sounds great, but it fits in their home and it goes with what the situation is in the living room. That was really the design goals of the AHT system, Alexa home theater system, to treat everyone's living room like a home theater, and so you can pick any amount of them, put them around. You can get up to 5.1, so 5 speakers and a subwoofer if you want it, right? Technically, and that's where we support. The design goal of Echo Dot Max is the best Echo Dot we could make. It is a compact speaker. It's got 3 times the bass of an Echo Dot. It's got twice the performance of the HomePod Mini, and at its price, same price. And it's blow away. 2 Echo Dot Maxes. That's already a great home theater, honestly. But you get all the way up into, say, 5 Echo Studios, right? At $219 each. That is a multi-$1,000 sound quality system. It's very competitive. So, and we wanted to make setups. So to your point, we put them anywhere. I think it's minutes is what we say. I'm not sure I've seen it take a minute, but it's like pretty fast. And some you've got awesome studio sound, right? It's free.
So so basically they auto optimize and listen, like I'm assuming.
Yeah, they listen for each other. They check the acoustic conditions of each speaker, right? Because you have speakers and microphones. So we can literally simulate the best sound for the space. With AI, you calibrate the entire setup so it sounds amazing. When we tell you we're done, that's it.
Alexa Plus is even coming to the team.
Yes,
I've talked about. The classic issue is the endless scroll. I think everybody in this room has probably been.
Dude, scroll. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's a FOMO of, well, I don't want to, that looks good, but I want to see what else is available. I want to just pick that because I might have missed out on, so I'm just going to keep looking. You don't want to settle, and instead you want the best thing to watch. How does the Alexa Plus help people get that time back?
I mean,
On a TV.
what you can do is you can ask for help with whatever's on your mind. So I think Aiden's example was like comedies with, crazy bosses or something, right? That's a classic comedy scenario, right? And she'll come back with it. But you could just riff as well. You could just riff with her. And then you'd say like, well, how about on my services that I've got? Or, if you want to narrow a search staff, or, from the 80s or whatever. And she'll just riff with you on something. And it makes scrolling is a lousy experience where you are trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yep.
Riffing like this. You're like, what should we do tonight? Oh yeah, let's go out. I don't know. I didn't really like that place last time. No, let's go uptown. Let's go downtown. Oh, let's hit a club. No, let's go see music, whatever. Humans do this all the time. It's supernaturally, right? When we're looking for anything. If you're looking for content or what movie to go see, same thing. We riff. Oh yeah, let's take in a movie. Which one? I don't know. What's looking good? You can have that same kind of conversation with Alexa. It's so much more delightful, honestly, than it's just better. Yeah. That's why, I think you heard Aiden say, 2x, the talking to Alexa on Fire TV. So it's cool.
And the same thing on the, it was called the home recap. What went on today?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
I feel like that could ease it a lot.
It was on what happened at home today.
I don't know. And the more people in the household, the more things to add pets in.
Totally.
So what are you doing there to kind of minimize, you want to maximize the information, you give a great answer.
Yeah.
But you probably want to overwhelm, hey, there's a full report of the day. So I'm like, okay, well, listen to that.
It all analogizes with just what we're doing right now. What would you want? What would you want to hear from a human? What would we say to each other? Wow, Jonah missed practice, but he got his homework in. Ellie did X and Y. Tali says miss you. No, you know what I mean? That's what I want to hear. I'm going back to with him.
Is there a different home report? Like we talked about earlier, how Alessi doesn't know you specifically. Would your wife get a different report than you would?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Totally. The more you use Alexa Plus, the more personalized the experience gets, better the experience, the more you ask her to try to do for you. That's kind of how it goes with her.
Features like familiar faces and Alexa Plus greetings.
So familiar faces is a way to, think about photo tagging, right? Where you're like, that's Tali, that's Jonah, that's Ellie, In my photo archive, we have enables own photo stack where I've tagged people, and now it sorts by that. This is the same analogous capability for Ray. So familiar faces is, my buddy Tarek goes by, and he was, on the doorstep. I can get a notification that says Tarek's here. The way that Alexa Greetings works when it's delivered in a couple months is you ring the doorbell and Alexa greets you. If she gets a signal from Ring, that is my buddy Tarek, she could say, "You Tarek, how's it going?" And if, depending on how I've set up the experience, then Tarek, he'd be welcomed in any particular way.
Let's just say high level in 3 years.
Yeah.
What do you hope a typical Alexa Plus household looks like? What would make you say in 3 years? Obviously the mission continues, but at that point, mission accomplished.
We're never going to be done with those fixes. So no mission accomplished banner for sure. But I think, the two big things that we're working on with Alexa Plus to do more for customers are she's just getting smarter and more capable, that she can do more things. She can help you with more stuff. You're running home from work late and she helps you get dinner together, right? Because you were out in the world and you're using Alexa Plus and you're in your health and you're using Alexa Plus. She's helping you manage the end to end, and she's just getting more aware. The awareness is what supports the capability. Hey, Daniel, I see you run late. It's your night for dinner. Hey, what are we going to do? Basically, what should we do? And I think that kind of proactivity, personalization, contact, and just helping in any context, right? I'm running home late from work. It's my night. She knows because it's on my calendar. Yep. It's my night. Tali's out. I'm on dinner and she can do it. She can make it happen. And it shows up there. It's that. It's that kind of thing. That will mean we're done.
Right.
That will mean we're really coming through our division.